What's going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 23 Ultimate Team video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the best 95 overall Origin players that you can add to your squad for free, and also the best way to use those Origin tokens. Now, if you guys enjoy this video, if you like it, if it helps you out, make sure you go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Shows a lot of support on the channel, helps the videos get noticed. Also, if you're brand new here, you are searching around YouTube for MUT 23 content, whether it's how to make coins, how to get free players, how to build your ultimate team, you found the right channel for everything. Stay a while, click that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on as well so you guys are alerted when we drop additional videos. Let's get right on into it. So much to go over in this video. We're going to try to keep it in a nice clean order, but there is a lot going on with these 95 overall Origin players because you can get 3 of them for free, and then you have a decision to make. Do you take the card with the better attributes and discounted abilities, or do you take the card that boosts other players on your team? We're going to discuss it all. Just make sure you click that thumbs up if this video helps you out, guys. So number one, let's talk about the 3 ways that you can earn the 95 overall cards. 2 of them are going to come from the Field Pass for the Gridiron Guardians Volume 2 promo. So if you go into the Field Pass, one of them you get very early on. I've actually already unlocked it. We're going to use it in this video. You're going to get it at level 4. So 4,200 XP, you get a 95 overall fantasy pack. That's not where you're going to stop. This gives you a 95, but you need to earn these tokens to make another decision and basically upgrade the card. But the number 195 is going to come at level 4. The second one, if we scroll down a little bit further here, in that same Field Pass is going to be at level 14. So there are 2 of the 3 95 overalls that you can earn for free. The third of the 3 free 95 overalls is going to come from House Rules. So if you go into the reward path, you're going to see, I believe it's level 4 here, you get a 95 overall B&D Origin player fantasy pack. So there are only 5 total players to choose from, and you get 3 out of those 5 for free. Now, the other half of this is that you need to earn these Origin tokens. So the first one, or one of 3, I should say, comes from House Rules as well. You can earn this one at level 5. If we go back into that Gridiron Guardians Field Pass where you got the first 2 95s, you're going to see that you do also get an Origin token here. So 1 from House Rules, 1 from the Field Pass. The third one is going to come from solo challenges. So if you go into your Gridiron Guardians solo challenges, which is going to be at the top here, and look at the milestone rewards, you're going to see that I think it's right at 50 stars, you get an Origin token. So 3 tokens in 3 95 overall players. You're going to need them both. 1 token goes with each player. The fastest way that I found earning a token and a player right off the rip was just simply playing through my solos. I knocked out all the solos I needed to get done to get to tier 5, which again was 50 stars. That got me my first token, and by the time I was done with that and I completed 1 set via the Gridiron Guardians Field Pass, you can see here that you get XP doing that. That gave me enough XP, that plus completing my dailies, to basically get to level 4. So just go through, start out, play your solos, get enough stars to earn that token, and you should have one of these fantasy packs and the token ready to go. This entire process is a little bit confusing, but EA gives you a welcome pack for this promo, which is kind of like a practice run and a better way to get understanding aside from watching this video on exactly what's going on. In the welcome pack, you're going to get a MUT tip, you get this 88 overall Dak Prescott, and then you get yourself a welcome token, which cannot be used as a substitute in place of the other tokens you're earning. Like I said, this is more of a practice run. So you're going to take this 88 overall in the boom token that you got from the welcome pack and head on over to your item sets. You're going to want to go over to your program filter, and on the right hand side about halfway down, GG Volume 2 Heroic Origins. This is where we're going to live a lot in this video. And again, the 88 overall B&D Dak that you got from that welcome pack is more of a practice on these other 95 overalls and how to use them and how it all works. But some of you might actually be able to use this card, like it might be beneficial to your team. I know a lot of people just recently got the game because it's now free on Xbox Game Pass, and if you're looking for a QB that's going to help you get through some of these solo challenges, he could certainly help. So if we go into the set, we're going to place the 88 and the boom token that we got from the welcome pack, and in return it's going to give us a fantasy pack. Now within this fantasy pack, it should give us 2 different choices, and these are 2 different variants variants, and the 95 overalls are going to have a similar situation. Now, it's not really important, in my opinion, which one you pick here, because at the end of the day, you're going to be able to get better options from the 95 overalls. But basically, one of the cards, the card on the left here that has this, it looks like DGM next to the Dallas logo, this would be considered a motivator. And basically what this card does, whether he's a backup or a starter in your lineup, he's going to boost other attributes on players on your team. The one that doesn't have that DGM symbol next to it, it just simply has the Cowboys logo. This one basically has a little bit better attributes on it and better discounted abilities, but we're not really going to focus on the best 88 overall card from this welcome pack. One more time, this is just more so of a practice run for the 95 overalls. After you've earned one token and one 95 overall Origin Fantasy Pack, the next step is to choose the best player for you. And again, there's 5 total players to choose from. You can earn up to 3 of these for free, so you want to lock in and make your first pick the best one overall for your team. But just keep in mind, you do have the opportunity to get 2 more out of the 5 for free. You cannot buy these off of the auction house, and I believe there's an exchange set that allows you to go back and pick an alternate option for that specific player. But I think once you make your 3 selections on the 3 players, there's no way to get back number 4 and 5. So here are the 5 players. We got Dak Prescott, T. Higgins, Kenny Clark, Najee Harris, and Isaiah Rodgers. Now, before you pick any of the 95 overalls, I think it's more important to know which one you want to go with for attribute purposes or for motivator purposes that boost the other players on your team. Once you make a decision from this pack, there's really no turning back. Now, you're going to pair this 95 with the token that I showed you, the boom token, the origin token is what it's called. You're going to take that origin token and put whatever 95 you choose from this pack into a set to get an additional fantasy pack that lets you pick an option A or B with that specific player. So let me go through the 5 players and the different boosts that they all provide before we actually make a decision on this 95, because one more time, I can't stress this enough, there's no way going back. So there are 2 different types of players, right? There are motivators and protectors. The motivators are going to boost attributes on other players on your team. The protectors are going to have a little bit of a better card or better attributes and give you discounted abilities. So here are all of the protectors, and I don't have the specific attributes on all of these cards. You can always check MUT.gg, but Dak Prescott would give you 1 AP Gunslinger, Quick Draw for 0 AP, Protected for 1 AP, Fearless for 2 AP, Pass Lead Elite for 3 AP. Isaiah Rodgers, you can see all of his abilities and discounts. I don't want to read them all because you can see them on your screen. Najee Harris, he got all of his abilities on a discount. Short and Elite for 0 AP is one to pay attention to. With Kenny Clark, he's going to get Tip Drill for 0 AP, Unpredictable for 0 AP, and then finally T. Higgins gets Slot Apprentice for 1 AP, Deep and Elite for 0 AP. So these 95 overalls get, again, I just want to reiterate this and drive this point home. They're going to get these discounted abilities on the 95 overall if you choose the Protector variant, and the attributes on these cards, like the speed, the route running, just, you know, whatever it is specific to those players, the attributes on these cards are overall better than the motivator version. Now, the motivator versions are not as good on the field for you, right? Their attributes are a little bit lower. For example, the motivator version of Isaiah Rodgers has 95 speed, 95 man, 91 zone, versus the protector version has 95 speed, 95 man, and 95 zone. So there's a 4-point difference in his zone coverage. The reason that the motivator card is not as good on the field for that specific player is because he motivates other players. And this means for Isaiah Rodgers, if you wanted to take this card, he is going to get Deep Route KO for 1 AP, Flat Zone KO for 1 AP, Outside Shape for 2 AP, and so forth. Pick Artist for free, 0 AP. But also, all of the DBs on your team are going to get +1 to play rec, +1 to man coverage, and +1 to zone. So no, he himself isn't as good on the field as the protector version would be, but he boosts play rec, man coverage, zone coverage to all of the DBs, and that's safeties and cornerbacks on your team. So a great strategy here is if this 95 overall Isaiah Rodgers isn't really, you know, good enough to be in your top 3 or 4 cornerbacks on the team, you can put him at CB number 5, and he's still going to boost those attributes on your entire secondary, and he's not even going to be on the field to do it. Dak Prescott, his motivator card would give you short route running, mid route running, and deep route running to all of your wide receivers and tight ends. So again, you could have a Patrick Mahomes, a Tom Brady, whoever at quarterback, but you can throw Dak in as your backup QB, and he's still going to impact or motivate all of the wide receivers and tight ends with those different route running abilities. Najee Harris is going to motivate the offensive line, gives them better run block essentially. You can plug him in as your third running back, and that's still going to boost those attributes on your offensive line. Kenny Clark is another really good option here because he's a defensive tackle. You have 4 defensive tackle spots on your roster. Even if this card isn't good enough to play on the field, you can plug him in at DT number 4, and he's going to motivate all of your D-line and your outside linebackers with +1 to block shed, +1 to pursue, and then finally T. Higgins, in which you have 5 wide receiver spots on your roster. If this card isn't good enough to get on the field for you, you can still make him wide receiver number 5, and he's going to boost your offensive line with good pass block. So when it comes down to the decision here, and I know this can be really confusing still to this point, if you feel like these 95 overalls can really help you out on the field, meaning they're going to be good enough to be, a starter on your team, you're probably going to want to go with the protector version, which doesn't give you the motivator chem. It doesn't boost all the other players on your team, but the card itself is better and has good discounted abilities. So one more time, I will throw those all up on your screen. You'll have to go to MUT.gg to see the specific attributes on the cards, but these are the better cards on the field. If you feel like these cards aren't really going to benefit your team because you have a bunch of 96 overalls at these specific positions, you're going to want to go with the motivator option that motivates all the other players on your team. So for me, that's the one that I'm going to go with because I think regardless, and this is going to be on no money spent and my main team, these cards are going to impact my team for a longer period of time. So I'm going to take the cards that aren't as good on the field, but boost other cards on my team. And honestly, that's what I would recommend you do, is go with the motivator options because they have more of an impact on your team as a whole. Now it comes down to who are the best 3 out of the 5 of these cards to choose from. And this is a really tough decision to make because they all kind of impact the game one or the other way. I think it really depends on your play style. So number 1, I have to say Isaiah Rodgers is clear-cut the number 1 best card to take because he's going to boost that man coverage and that zone coverage on your entire secondary. As far as the defensive tackle and Kenny Clark goes, he's going to help out block shed on your entire defensive line and outside linebackers. This is going to help against run defense and rushing the passer. So I think this one globally impacts the team very well. So Kenny Clark and Isaiah Rodgers would probably be my top 2 picks. The third pick is really going to be based on how you play. If you run the ball a lot, you're going to want to go with Najee Harris because he's going to impact your offensive line when it comes to run blocking. If you pass the ball a lot, now you have a decision to make. You can either get some boosts on your pass blocking with the T. Higgins card, or you can get a boost on your route running with the Dak Prescott. I think the one thing that I would say between these two is that you do have 5 wide receiver spots on your on your offense. So putting this card as your 5th wide receiver is definitely going to be an easier option versus with your backup QB. Some of you might need that backup QB for a specific team chem or legend chem. Those spots are kind of limited. So I would prefer taking the route running boost over the pass blocking boost on my O-line, but there's more flexibility with 5 wide receiver spots on your offense versus only 2 spots with the quarterback on your depth chart. With all that being said, if I had to tell you the top 3 cards that I would personally take if I were you, it would be Dak Prescott and put him at the backup QB, and maybe he's going to be QB number 1 for some of you, but he is going to impact that route running across the board for everybody. Number 2, and this is not in order, but number 2 would be Kenny Clark because he's going to boost so many players, outside linebackers and your entire defensive line with block shed and pursue. And again, the number 1 clear-cut pick to me is taking Isaiah Rodgers because of that secondary boost, specifically with the man and zone coverage +1. So now that we've gotten that all out of the way, we still have to show you how to actually apply these cards. So we're going to take Isaiah Rodgers as our pick, and this card alone doesn't do anything for us. It's simply just a 95 overall. I'll show you the attributes on it. We still need that token to make this card better, but he's got 95 speed, 94 press, 91 zone, 95 man. He has no discounted abilities, no motivator chem on this card. It's just strictly a 95 overall. What you see is what you get. We're going to head back on over to item sets, go to our program filter again, and go down to the heroic origins. And now, just like we did with that kind of practice run on the Dak Prescott, we're going to be able to take our token that we earned, and in this case, we earned that token from the solos. Remember, you get one from solos, one from the field pass, one from house rules. We're going to take that token plus the 95 overall Isaiah Rodgers that we just took from that fantasy pack, and we're going to put both of those items into this set. Now, in return, we're going to get a fantasy pack that gives us that either or option, just like we did with the welcome pack and the Dak Prescott. With the either or in this situation, we either get the motivator card that's going to boost that secondary with +1 man and +1 zone, or we can take the regular Isaiah Rodgers, which doesn't give us the boost to the secondary, but does have better attributes like the 94 zone and 95 man, I think it was, and he's going to get those discounted abilities that we showed you. Because I feel like the Isaiah Rodgers that boosts everybody else will have a longer impact on my team, that's the card that I'm going to go with, and you got to pay attention to what's on the artwork here. Again, this one says IGM. I don't know what exactly that is short for, but you can see it on the card art. That is the one that's boosting, the secondary on the squad, versus this one that just shows only the Colts logo. It's just kind of only about him, right? He doesn't have that motivator option on him. This is considered the protector. So let's go ahead and take this card, and now I want to throw him into our lineup and show you the impact that he makes on our entire secondary. Now, it was going to be a little bit tough to showcase these boosts because a lot of the cards on my team are already maxed out at 99 zone due to other strategy items. So what I did is at CB number 4, I took an old Gridiron Guardians card, this Sauce Gardner, which is an 89 overall, and I put him as CB number 4 in my lineup. And if you take a look, even with the current chemistry items and strategy items that we have, his man coverage is at a 92 and his zone coverage is at a 91. So remember those numbers, 92 on the left, 91 on the right. We're going to go ahead and put Isaiah Rodgers into our lineup, and I'm going to move him to CB number 5 because I don't need him on the team, right? I just really want his impact to take place on all of my other players. So I will go ahead and take Harold Carmichael out. We're going to put Isaiah Rodgers in the game, and you're going to notice that we get another +1 to man and zone on every defensive back on the team, but the only one we can truly showcase is Sauce Gardner, and you can see already he bumped up to a 90 overall. If I go over to the upgrade section and take a look at his attributes now, you're going to see that he now has 93 man and 92 zone. So we got an additional +1 on both man and zone coverage from that Isaiah Rodgers card. Even though he's CB number 5, he's not going to see the field for the most part. He's still impacting the entire secondary. One other thing I want to stress is that we did take the option to put the motivator chem on him, which affects and impacts other players on our team, but he can still get discounted abilities. They're just not as good, but if you go into that 5th ability slot, look, he still gets pick artist for 0 AP, he still gets short route KO for 1 AP, so he can still get good discounted abilities. But if you feel like you want to change your mind, another option that you can do here, and I'll have to downgrade the card, so we'll have to go to refund and remove him completely out of our lineup, is there is a way to go back and get another token and basically make a new decision on this card. So we're going to remove him from our lineup, and then we're going to head on over to item sets one more time. By now you know what filter we're going to go through, program, and then down to heroic origins. And if I wanted to use an 88 overall card, basically what I could do is go back right to the Isaiah Rodgers set. I can put that same 95 into the set, right? So boom, that's going to go ahead and go in there. You want to make sure you downgrade it like I just did, or it won't let you put this card back into the set. And then we need another origin token. Now you can earn tokens, like I said, from house rules, from the field pass, and from solo challenges, but that's it. Those are the only 3 you can earn. If you need an additional token, you can actually trade in an 88 overall card and get a token out of it. Now I'm not going to do it because I don't want to waste my 88, and hopefully you guys don't have to go through that, but if you accidentally select the wrong card, you can trade an 88 in for another token. If we completed this set, it would give us a token. We would then go back over to the Isaiah Rodgers set. We'd put that token in, and it would give us a repeat of that fantasy pack where you can either pick the motivator card that boosts the other players on your team, or the protector card, which doesn't boost other players on your team but has better attributes and better discounted abilities. So another route that you can take before we get out of here is take the better attributes and the better abilities and use that card, and then once that card's kind of phased out, he's no longer to be good enough to be on your field, you can go through and make the exchange and then take the motivator, which that card would then stay off of your field, but he would still impact the other players that are still in the game for you. So hopefully that cleared all of it up for you. I think we went through and got everything in a pretty good order there. I'm not going to use any of these cards on my main team, but on my no money spent account, they will absolutely be helpful, and I think this is a great promo. All of this is great for no money spent players to boost your squad without spending basically any coin at all. So on the second channel, we'll be doing some follow-up videos with these and see how they impact the no money spent squad, because I think it's going to be much more beneficial. Thank you guys for tuning in to another video. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.